My name is Tammy Shia, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm happy that you're with us tonight. So welcome to Facebook Live in the Hive. We are so happy to have you. I'm going to show you the projects that we're going to make this evening. We do have a brand new hostess code, all right, and it starts this evening. This is the new one now, okay? Oh, hey, Lisa, welcome. 2 Wednesday nights in a row. That is awesome. So this is our brand new hostess code. If you are placing an order this evening, tomorrow, or in the next week ahead, okay? Please keep in mind that I do offer a free tutorial when you place an order in my online store. With a minimum order of $35 or more, I send this to your email inbox. It's 16 projects, ladies, and they have directions, supply list, measurements, so you don't want to miss out on the tutorial. Beginning Friday, October 1, I'm going to have a brand new tutorial for you. And also, I do have a B reward card. And whenever you place a minimum $35 order, or for every $35 in orders that you place, you'll earn a B. And when you've earned 10 Bs, I will let you know. I'll email you, and you can redeem those at the end of the month. And so the deadline was today, and it was 5 p.m. So those orders have been taken care of. But just remember that you are rewarded when you shop with me. All right? Okay, so I'm going to switch on over to my hands. And let me zoom in a bit here. And this is going to be our second project tonight. You kind of got a sneak peek of this tonight at 6:30 p.m. I changed a few things on the card, but this is what we're going to create. This was a card that was one of Stampin' Up's samples, and I decided to give it a try. So I hope you like it. I've got lots of fun things to tell you about this card. And look at this. I did a bit of fussy cutting. Yep, that's not a die, ladies. That's with my paper snips and fussy cutting, all right? Or as my husband calls it, sissy cutting. So I'm gonna show you how to create that card. Isn't that pretty? It turned out really pretty. And I can say that because it's not my design. It's Stampin' Up's design. Okay. So this will be the second project, and we are going to start with a blessing mix box, okay? And so inside we have the blessing mix, and the poem tells you all about the mix. So I'm going to read that to you, and we're going to learn how to create this box tonight. And you're going to also get a file where you can print out the blessing mix. And the file will be on my blog on Friday, okay? Because I don't have a place to put the file on my business page. But I'm going to read this to you real quick, and then you'll see the ingredients that go into the blessing mix. Hi, Janet. I see I have a lot of friends join tonight I haven't said hello to. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Deb. Hi, Janet. I'm sorry if I missed your name. I see all the names, but just welcome. So happy to have you all here. Okay, the bugles are a symbol of cornucopia, a horn of plenty. The pretzels represent arms folded in thanks and prayer. The candy corn reminds us that during the first winter, the pilgrims were allowed only 5 kernels of corn per day because food was scarce. The fruit is a reminder that Thanksgiving is the celebration of the harvest. The peanuts represent seeds, the potential of the bounteous harvest of the next season if they are planted and well tended, okay? Oh, gee, Ann, I'm so glad you want to make this. Super simple box, okay? And I've created a file for you again with the poem. And when you go to print it, you're going to get 2 poems on a sheet of paper. You will get that file on Friday on my blog. I will announce it on my Facebook page, so you know that you can head on over to the blog and pick up the file, okay? Because I don't have a place to put the file on my business page. So you have to go over and visit my page, but I'll give you all of those links, okay? All right, so we're gonna start with, let me show you where everything is in the catalog. And then I'm gonna start with the blessing mix, how to print it, how to trim it so that it fits here, okay? Because that's pretty important, okay? So if we're in our holiday book, you're gonna wanna turn to page 48. This is where Pretty Pumpkins is located. And with this particular bundle, you've got a stamp set as well as dies, okay? Now, I always write little notes in my catalog, and this note says that Tanner is sending me the stamp set. Tanner works for Stampin' Up, and I am on the Demonstrator Council for the Southeast of the United States. And Tanner, he's kind of in charge of our group. And he said, pick out a stamp set that you would love, and I'm going to send it to you. And so Tanner sent me this stamp set free, and then I ordered the dies to go with it. So this isn't a suite, but you're going to find that this bundle is going to pair very well with the Harvest Meadow designer paper. That's page 55. It's going to pair really well with this designer paper, okay? And then the other one, and it's actually the paper we're using tonight. It's called Blackberry Beauty. And again, this is the one we're going to use this evening. And it pairs very well with this as well, okay? So I wanted to show you where that's located. Let's take a look at the dies, because the dies are spectacular. You can actually stamp these pumpkins, and then you can cut them out with a die. And I use Stampin' Blends to color the pumpkins. Now with the pumpkins, you can color them with Stampin' Blends. You could watercolor. You could, you could spritz them. I'm trying to think of some other ways for coloring them. Anyway, just tons of ways to do that. You get 3 leaves here to cut out, and they're very detailed. We're going to do that this evening. And then, of course, we have this beautiful, intricate pumpkin. And then we have this one with the design. Now, you can use the Stampin' Write markers and color the rubber stamp. This is a rubber mounted stamp set. So you can color the rubber mounted stamp that way and make your leaves different colors. Then we've got this pumpkin die. We have these 2 vines here. I actually stamped them on old olive cardstock and then cut them out. And then here is another leaf that you can stamp and cut out. All right. So this, these are the detailed pumpkins dies, all right, located on page 48 and page 70. So that's where you'll find those. Okay, so we're going to get back to our blessing mix box, and hopefully you'll get to make some of these. We're doing this in plenty of time, so if you want to do these for Thanksgiving, maybe for family members, you could put this at a place setting for Thanksgiving. So that would work really well too, okay? Hi, Doreen, welcome. Hi, Sonia, welcome. All right, so we're gonna start with the actual poem, okay? I'm gonna use my paper trimmer, and you are actually going to notice that I printed this on very vanilla cardstock. Yay, Nancy! I'm so glad you're getting this one. Nancy, celebration is tomorrow, and if you were to purchase the bundle tonight, which I think is $45, $47, add some embellishments, select a free celebration, get the September tutorial, and earn a bee. So this would be a great time for you to pick up pretty pumpkins. All right, celebration does end tomorrow, okay? All right, so when I printed the Blessing Mix poem, I used a very vanilla sheet of cardstock, okay? And I put it in my printer. Now, I just have a home printer. It's nothing fancy. It's an Epson 3540. My husband has an Epson 4750, I think, but I use the 3540 Epson printer. Nothing special. It's just a home printer, okay? Our cardstock can be pretty thick. So most of the time I'll pull out the copy paper. I take it out of the tray and I just put the cardstock in the printer tray, okay, where the paper usually goes, okay? You'll be able to pick up the file for the poem on Friday on my blog, okay? I don't have a place to put it on the business page. So on Friday, I'll remind everyone where you can get the poem, okay? So getting back to printing, I put the very vanilla cardstock in the printer tray, all right? And then I push print. And when it comes out, it's going to look like this. Now, I am showing you mine on copy paper. This is just white copy paper. You could certainly use white copy paper, but I did like the very vanilla. I think the white would be too bright for the Blessing Mix box, okay? So the reason I printed this on copy paper is because I'm going to trim this. I'm going to show you how to trim this so that you can create these, okay? And I failed to mention that if you are a Hostess Club member, you're making this in Hostess Club, ladies, okay? You're making the box and you're going to embellish it and you're going to get the poem. And if you are on my team, we made this last night for the team meeting, okay? So for those on my team, the file has been posted on the team page, okay? You just go to files. All right, so I've given you a ton of information and now I'm going to show you how to trim your paper, okay? And that way you can go back and watch replay and you can trim your paper and get it perfect. All right. I know, Peggy, aren't you excited? We get to make this in Hostess Club. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to trim 3 inches off the left side of this paper. Okay, ready? So here we go. I just trimmed 3 inches off. So that's all you're going to do, okay? All right. Then I'm actually going to turn this paper around. I'm going to rotate it, okay? And I'm going to trim at 3 inches again. All right? So there we go. It is important when you trim, okay? It is important when you trim on the left to trim at 3 inches. Turn this around and trim at 3 inches again, okay? All right, now, and I'll go ahead and, I don't know if I need that arm open or not. The next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to trim, and I'm gonna zoom in for you. All right, I am going to trim at 3/4 of an inch. Do you see that right there? That's 3/4. So I'm going to take 3/4 off the top. All right, that's done. Okay, then we're going to turn the paper again. All right, and we are going to, and I'm looking at my notes so that I don't mess up. we are going to trim at 3.5 inches. All right, 3.5 inches. And we have our very first poem. So your poem should measure 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches, okay? So that's really important too, and that's why I wanted to show you how to trim this, because it can get really confusing. All right, now I'm still looking at my notes here. This is the bottom one, okay? And I believe we want to trim at 1/2 inch, all right? So let me show you the 1/2 inch. This is the 1/2 inch mark, all right? I'm not getting any comments, so I'm assuming everybody is taking notes and listening. Here we go, 1/2 inch, that's what we're gonna trim, okay? There we go. And then I'm gonna turn it around again. I do a lot of turning, a lot of rotating, and you may have guessed this, I'm going to trim at 3.5 inches again. And this should also measure 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. So I was able to get 2 poems out of that one sheet of cardstock, okay? So you can certainly print it on copy paper, but I wanted the very vanilla, and so that's why I used the cardstock. And it gives it a little more weight. It makes it look a little nicer. But for demonstration reasons, I just use copy paper. Okay? All right. So that might be the hardest thing about the whole box. So we've gotten that taken care of. And I'm going to need my trimmer again, because guess what? We're going to make the box now. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I am going to give you the measurements for the box. So if you would like a screenshot, you can take one right now. And I'll give you a few minutes to do that. If you get a chance, comment. Let me know you're still out there, because it's gotten really quiet. And I'm assuming it's because you're just taking notes. Okay. All right, everyone. I'll give you a few more seconds to get the measurements for the box. It takes 1 sheet of cardstock. Yay, Linda. Good, Sonia. That's what I needed to hear. I just need to know somebody's still out there. Good. Yes, screenshot. Good. All right, so once you get the file for printing your poem, then you can go back to this video, watch replay, and then you'll know how to trim your paper. Oh my gosh. Oh wow, Jacqueline. Jacqueline, I have so much trouble with centimeters, with the metric system. And so it's so hard for me to follow videos when it's only in the metric measurements. So yay, Becky, yay, everybody's here. Okay, I'm gonna move the measurements and we're gonna cut our box, okay? All right, so we're back to our trimmer, and I am gonna need to pull the arm out. And I might have to zoom out a bit. Okay. So our first measurement, and I'm gonna look at my notes, our cardstock needs to measure 8.5 inches by 9.5 inches. So we're already on the 8.5 inch side, so we don't have to do anything. We're gonna rotate our cardstock to the 11 inch side, and we're going to cut it at 9.5 inches. And again, this box takes 1 sheet of cardstock. And this is what I'm going to have left over, okay? All right, so that becomes scrap paper. Okay, now along the 8.5 inch side, I need to score at 1.5 inches. My scoring tool's at the very top. And I'll just put a nice score line in there. I know it's a little bit harder for you to see because the cardstock is super dark. We're gonna scoot on over to the 7-inch mark and we're going to score again. Okay, so I have my first 2 score lines. Now I'm going to rotate the cardstock, and this is on the 9.5 inch side, and we are going to score at 4. And 5.5. Okay, and then I think I'm done with my trimmer. All right. Okay, now I'm going to fold my score lines because I think that's going to be easier for you to see with this dark paper. I love Blackberry Bliss, but when you use it on camera, it's hard to see score lines. Okay, so I've got this square right here, and I'm going to take my paper snips and I am going to trim up to that first score line, and I'm going to stop. And then we're going to do it again. Okay, and so I've now made my first flap. Okay, we're going to turn it around and we're going to do the very same thing. And you could also do this with your paper trimmer. And now I have my second flap. Okay? Everybody see that? All right, now I'm going to fold these in. These are the sides of the box. This is going to be the bottom of the box. All right, so what I want you to see here is this is the panel that we're going to be working on, okay? So now we're going to grab some cinnamon cider cardstock, which is right here. And I'm going to use a different paper tonight than I used on the original. All right, so the original paper that I used is right here. And again, this is Blackberry Beauty designer paper, okay? So I'm using a different sheet, and now I think I can zoom in for you all a little bit better. And this is gonna go right here, okay? So this is the panel that we're creating. And I've given you the measurements, but I will still measure for you. Your designer paper is going to be 5.25. I'll make sure I got it right. Let me make sure that I've cut. Okay. All right, so designer paper should be, hang on one second. Did I put it on your paper? Maybe I didn't. 3, 5 1/8. Okay, all right, I'm with you now. It's 5 1/8. I'm sorry about that. I had a moment that I had to check measurements. So ladies, that's 5 1/8 inches. And this is 3 5/8 of an inch, okay? Sometimes those 8s get very difficult. So just be aware of that. And then your cinnamon cider is going to be 5 1/4 inches and 4 3/4 inches, okay? All right, I know Doreen needs to fly here for a class, Margaret. we need to have a retreat next year, and she can be able to come to that. All right, I'm going to use my stamp and seal here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add the designer paper to the cinnamon cider, okay? And I think that will do it. Okay, yay, Diana's here, yay, okay. All right, now let's go ahead. We're gonna add our blessing mix. So here is the poem, and here is the Blackberry Bliss cardstock, okay? So we've already measured the poem, and it's measuring 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. Diane, the paper is Blackberry Beauty. Isn't it gorgeous? And this is 2 3/8. This is Blackberry Bliss. Hi, Irma, welcome. This is 2 5/8. And this is 3 5/8. All right. Yeah, the paper is so incredibly elegant. You are right. Hello, Sally. How are you? All right. So if you're just joining us and you haven't commented, go ahead and do that. I am going to give away a blessing box tonight. It will come to you unassembled, okay? It will not be assembled. So that's going to be fun to ship, isn't it? Okay. So here's my blessing mix poem right here. And by the way, if you're just joining us, we talk about the blessing mix in the very beginning of the video, and how we trimmed it, how to measure it. So all of those details are at the beginning of the video. We're going to go ahead now and we're going to add this to our panel. Oh, thank you, Linda. I'm so glad you like it. You know, I did not come up with this, ladies, okay? Oh, I need to show you something. You see where that designer paper ends? That's where this cardstock is going to go, right next to it. So it's going to go right here. All right. That's where it goes. And I'll even bring it up close. You can see the cinnamon cider, but the Blackberry Bliss cardstock is right on the edge of that designer paper, okay? All right. And also, Diane, you may have missed, this is our Hostess Club project this month. All right, so that's done. And now we're going to add it to the panel of the box, and then we're going to talk pumpkins. All right. I feel like I'm sitting so far away from my project tonight. I don't know why. All right, I'm going to fold this in because we're going to center it right on here. Now I may stand up to do this just so I can get it just right. All right, and I think that'll work. All right. Yeah, the blessing mix has been around for a while. It is not my invention. It's not my original work. I just found it on the internet. So anyway, designer paper. It's before page 48, Doreen. That's all I can tell you right now, but we have lots of demonstrators watching. They might be able to give you the page number. You're so welcome, Cindy. You're absolutely welcome. All right, let's go back. We're going to look at the box again. And now we're going to talk about cutting the pumpkins, cutting the leaves, and adding the bows. Okay, so that's the next thing we're going to work on. Notice that I did not put the box together yet. Okay, we will, but I haven't done it yet, and that is for good reason. We're going to add our pumpkins, and then we'll assemble the box, okay? All righty. So you're going to need some cardstock just for cutting the pumpkins. Let me find my dies. I could probably have a 10-foot table and it just would not be big enough. Okay, so Jacqueline says the paper, the Blackberry Beauty, is on page 45. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. And I don't know if I ever told you this, but that's one of my daughter's names. Her name is Jacqueline. All right, so you're gonna need some Blackberry Bliss cardstock to cut out this cute little pumpkin. It can be scrap paper, okay? Then I'm using the brushed metallic cardstock. So let me show you where those are located in the book. This is a returning favorite. Let me find page 32. So on page 32 in the holiday book, there is some brushed metallic cardstock. You get bronze, copper, and gold, and you get 2 of each sheet, and they're 12 by 12, okay? And so that's what I'm using this evening. I think I'm using the bronze. It could be gold. I have to have all 3 colors together to actually decide that, okay? So, but this is that brushed metallic cardstock. It's extra thick. It's gorgeous. Thanks, Cindy. Thanks for that item number. And then we're going to cut that out using that die, okay? All right, now we're going to talk adhesive sheets, all right? That'll be the next thing, and let's see. I have to get my supplies here. We're going to need one in the metallic cardstock, and then we're going to need one in Blackberry Bliss. Okay, so I'm going to show you how adhesive sheets work. Instead of me just telling you, I'm going to show you. All right. So hang tight. I'm going to pull this out. The adhesive sheets are in the annual book. They are located on in the annual book. They are item number 152334. And if somebody wants to look up that page number in the annual book, that would be so awesome. And let us know the price. I want to say it's $10. I know we always need a refresher on adhesive sheets because if you haven't used them in a while, you forget how to do it. This is 6 inches by 12 inches. This will last me a long time, and I teach a lot of classes. So it goes a long, long ways. You only need 1 pack. All right, so let me see. I'm going to cut a little piece for the leaves. No, Tina, after tonight, they are not going to hate you, okay? So what I'm going to do is, you'll notice with adhesive sheets that you've got 2 strips here that you can pull off. I'm just going to cut a little piece. Okay, that's all I need. I actually don't even need that much. I'm going to trim it some more. And I'm still going to trim it a little more because I don't want the adhesive showing. If the adhesive shows, it's going to get on my cutting plates and make them sticky. And I don't want to do that, okay? So let's just make sure that fits. That'll work. And now I've got to lift the paper off of this. And so I like to use the Take Your Pick tool. Hang on. Yep, I think I have it on the right side. There we go. All right, so I had to lift that up. And I have found that the Take Your Pick tool works the best. You'll know which side is the sticky side. All right, no question about that. All right, so my adhesive is there. And then I will actually take the leaf, and that's going to go right on top, okay? And that's how I'm going to cut it out. Now, one other thing I want to show you, I know I have a lot of demonstrators watching, So what I did was, we're going to be cutting these small little leaves in class. So instead of us doing tons of these little teeny squares to cut leaves, I decided that I would take a 2-inch panel, okay, and cut the metallic cardstock 2 inches wide and peel this off and stick it to this entire strip. So it was 2 inches wide by 12 inches. Everybody following me? Adhesive Sheets are page 167. So that's what I did. And we're going to be using this in my classes to cut out the leaves. All right, now we're going to need another leaf in this cardstock. So now I'm actually going to trim. So you might be saying, well, why are you trimming it? Many of you know that when you use metallic cardstock and you roll it through your machine, it can put marks and scarring on the paper. And it doesn't look very pretty. And we don't want our leaves to look like that. So I am going to trim like that. And then I will just be cutting out that one leaf, okay? I also did the same for Blackberry Bliss for my customers. So they'll cut out one Blackberry leaf and they could actually use the whole strip and run it through because it's cardstock and it won't mess up, okay? All right. Now look how I put this adhesive on the back. It looks terrible, right? Isn't it messy? But it doesn't matter, all right? It does not matter what the adhesive looks like, okay? So use those scraps. Save those little scraps of adhesive, okay? All right, so let me move that out of the way. We're going to be cutting 4 things. So guess, I could have brought in my mini tonight, and I have my my standard machine over here, but I could have done the mini. I'm going to zoom all the way out. All right. And let me get my machine. Put it right here. All right. Okay, we're going to need platform number 1 and platform number 2. We're going to need a cutting plate, number 3. We're going to put that there. We can actually cut all of these at one time as long as they stay on the paper. Okay. Now this pumpkin's very intricate. And we're cutting it out on metallic paper, which can be really thick. So I am gonna run it through a couple of times, okay? I really don't need to do it on the other items, but I feel like I need to do it on the large pumpkin because of the intricate design. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Marty. All right, so let's just turn that over. That one's ready. That it has the adhesive on the back. That's good. This one's all ready. This one looks awesome. And now I'm just gonna run it through again without looking at it, okay? So let's do that. And then I'm gonna turn it around. And again, it should cut fine, but I just wanna be sure all my little pieces are cut really, really well. And it does help to change the direction of the die. All right, we're gonna turn this over. It's looking pretty good. We've got some beautiful cuts in there. See that? And that's what we're looking for right there. Now I can move this out of the way. Sorry for the noise. All right, yes, hold your breath. I didn't say that, Sue. Actually, though, Sue, I was holding my breath, Okay, just so you know, I was still holding my breath. That's one of my techniques. I'm gonna bring in my little trash can. And I know I've shown y'all this before. Isn't it cute? It says Queen Bee on my little trash can. All right, and we're gonna poke out some of these little pieces. Yeah, I don't know how many of y'all usually turn your dies, but for intricate ones, I do, and it helps so much. Look at that. That came out beautifully, didn't it? Wow, that is super nice. All right, now, I did not put an adhesive sheet on the back of the pumpkin, and you're gonna see why in a few minutes. You could definitely use an adhesive sheet. I probably would recommend it. But this is thick paper, and once you add another layer of adhesive, you're gonna have to do more, I would imagine, more cranks through the machine to make sure it all gets cut, okay? But I'll show you a little trick so you don't have to use the adhesive. Then we have this little guy, which I think is probably all ready. Yep, isn't that pretty? All right. And then we have this with the adhesive, and I'll show you how to release that. Okay, and you know what, ladies? I'm gonna put these dies away before we go any further because I don't wanna use these gorgeous, gorgeous leaves. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so we're gonna move the trash can. I'll go ahead and zoom in so we can embellish. And I'm gonna add my dies right back here so that I don't lose anything. You have 3 of these leaves, so I always look for those 3 leaves to make sure that I have everything, okay? All right. So we're going to bring our panel back in. And the first thing that I like to do is to actually attach the pumpkin first. And we want to attach it so that we don't cover up the words, but we want to be sure that it's close by, okay? Diana, this is such a great question. Diana wants to know, are they going to make the magnetic board for the new machine? And they are working on it. Originally, we had a magnetic plate about a year ago, and it started to warp. And so Stampin' Up! Decided, let's take it off the market, let's fix it, let's test it before we put it back out on the market. So it is coming, Diana, but I have not, other than that, I don't have any details. I haven't heard of any release date or anything like that. But that's a great question. All right, I'm just adding glue dots on the back. It's so much easier to add glue dots instead of trying to put seal on the back of it. All right, so that's what I'm doing right now to attach the pumpkin. Now you're gonna notice that I didn't put a glue dot here, okay? And there's a reason for that. I'm gonna flip it over. Remember, there's no glue dot right here. And then I'm going to add my pumpkin, being careful not to cover up the words, right along there, okay? Now I'm going to add my beautiful detailed pumpkin, and look what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna slide it behind this pumpkin. And when I slide it behind, this pumpkin can hold it in place. But hang tight, we're gonna add another glue dot. And we're gonna put that glue dot right there, okay? And that is going to hold the large pumpkin in place. Let's do another one. And that'll just give this more security. All right, and now your pumpkin's in place. Now we're gonna add the leaf, which is gonna help this to lie down too. All right, I know it can be really hard to see between the dark cardstock and the gold metallic shiny stuff. All right, we're going to add the Blackberry Bliss leaf, okay? And it has adhesive on it, So I'm just going to move that like so. I'm going to add it right there on top. Okay, and look, it's holding it in place again. We're going to do the same with this. We're going to take that adhesive off. And we're going to put this one right here. Okay. And so now we've got our pumpkins. Okay. Now we're going to add some trim. And we have this in the annual book. It's with the ribbon. It's item number 155766. It comes with gold and silver cording. And I am going to make 2 bows. Y'all know that I had to embellish this in some fashion, right? It had to be done. All right. And I'm going to fold this back. And then I'm going to add that little glue dot right there. I forgot to cut, so let me do that. I'm going to pick that up. I'm going to put that right there. And you know what? That bow is holding the pumpkin in place. And my ribbon just rolled away. Okay, so one more bow. Let me start again. I love the gold cording. And I'm glad we have it this year. There have been some holidays where we have not had any gold cording at all in our book. So it's really nice to have it. And we'll put that about right there. I always put the knot in the glue dot. And now the panel is all done. All right. So now we're going to flip it over. I'll zoom out just a little. We're going to use tear and tape. So that's what, where's my panel? Right there. The reason I want to know where my panel is because that's where I'm going to put tear and tape, on the opposite side of the panel. Okay? And I'm going to put it along here as well. All right, and again, it's on the opposite side of the panel. And this is how our box is going to come together. Are you ready for this? These flaps go in. This comes up, then this, and this is where we're going to attach it. And then we have our box. And that's it. Now, I didn't assemble this box because I'm going to mail it. Someone's going to win this tonight, okay? And so I can't assemble it because then I'd have to take it apart, right? So, oh, thank you, Sue. I'm so glad you like it. Thank you. All right, so one more time. You would peel off your tear and tape. This side comes up. Flaps go in. Okay, the flaps are inside the box. You peel your tape and then you adhere it. And you're going to do that on both sides. All right? I'm so glad you ladies like it. Thank you. And by the way, this is my project for the October tutorial. And so the October tutorial will arrive on Friday. And then anyone placing an order in with me the month of October will get the tutorial with 16 projects, okay? Hello, Jean. So good to have you. All right. Okay, now let me talk about the blessing mix, okay? I used what size is it? Is it 6 by 8? I used a 6 by 8, and I'm going to show you one, cello bag. And we sell these in the annual book. It's item number 102210. All right. Now, the best way to fill your box is to put the cello bag inside. Hey, Lois, how are you? So good to have you tonight. So see how my cello bag is inside the box? You really need that, because if you fill your bag with the mix and tie it, when you go to put it in here, it's going to bulge, and you don't want that, okay? So just keep it in here and fill it in here. Now the blessing mix includes the bugles, the pretzels. You can use smaller pretzels, by the way, ladies. You don't have to use the big ones. Candy corn. There's my candy corn. Fruit. I used dried cranberries. Okay, any dried fruit. And peanuts. All right. So you fill it. And then you're going to take, let me see if I can find our gorgeous gold shimmer ribbon. Love this stuff. You're going to take this. You're probably going to want about 16 to 18 inches, okay? And wrap that around your bag. Someone may have to hold it while you tie the bow around the bag. So 16 to 18 inches of ribbon. Oh, yay, Melissa. I'm so glad. Yeah, the gift box. By the way, this gift box fits note cards, ladies. All right, so you can make regular size standard cards. They'll fit in the box. And you can also like add a little handle to the box if you want. All right. So I am going to take just a few minutes to straighten up. And then we're going to make our card. All right, and I have to find my card because it has slipped away. So let me look at that a few minutes. And I'll also let you look at this. Yeah, and you know what? Let's see, I told you, yep. The card fits in here. I don't know how well the envelope would fit in. So it's not actually as big as I thought. Or is it? Hang on. Maybe that's the problem. One of my flaps here. Thank you. Hey, Martha. Hello, hello. So yeah, cards will fit in there, but honestly, I'm not so sure about the envelope. All right, so these are the projects. I'm gonna put the blessing mix back inside, and I'm gonna gather the supplies we need for the next project. All right, so give y'all a few minutes to look at that. Grab something to drink if you want. We're gonna be in the Holiday Mini on page 44 and 45. Thank you for sharing the video, Becky. Thank you, Ann Ethel. I'm so glad you like it. Thanks, Martha. Okay. All right, I think we are ready. Yeah, you all can get a screenshot if you want to. Okay. Okay, I just needed to take a break, gather my supplies, have a sip of water from all this talking. I'm so glad you liked the card. Stampin' Up! Posted this card. I don't believe a demonstrator created it. I think it was one of their concept artists. So I thought I'd give it a try, and I changed up a couple of things. So, and I'll tell you about those, okay? Okay, so the first thing we're gonna start with is this background. And you may not have seen this before, but it is a background stamp. By the way, I stamped on Very Vanilla. Again, we're using Very Vanilla tonight. And let me find the page number for this background stamp, okay? Because you probably have not even noticed it. Hi, Toddy, how are you? I missed you last night, Tadia. We had our team meeting last night, and we had a taco bar. So, and it was really fun. So anyway, we had a great time, and we made a blessing box. All right, so hang tight, ladies. Page 34 of the mini, there is a background stamp, and it says knit together. Now, have you ever noticed that stamp? Did you even know it was in the book? I'm laughing at Sue. Sue says, what am I going to do with you, Tammy? I removed that bundle from my order list, but thanks to you, I'm putting it right back on. I love it. The pumpkin dies is what spoke to me. Not so much the stamp set, but those daggone dies are gorgeous. Okay, so this is actually a bundle. It bundles with, let's see, is that a stamp set there? It is. The knit together background stamp and the knit sweater dies. So it also has dies. So I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but page 34, if you want to take a longer look at it, okay? All right. So let's see. That's what we're going to start with first. That is the background stamp, and we're going to use Very Vanilla. And we're going to use the Stamparatus, okay? And we're going to create this background. We're going to need some Sahara Sand ink, all right? And I'm going to bring in my Stamparatus right here. I'm going to zoom out. You're going to notice when I stamp that I haven't put the sticker on yet. I haven't put the sticker on my stamp. And the reason is because I opened it today. And when I put my stickers on, you know, I want them to be perfect. And I really didn't have the time to fool with it. So it's just sticking here for now, which sticks just fine. I just don't have the label or the sticker on it. And then I'm also using our Stamparatus grid paper. And I'm doing that because we're going to stamp off, and I don't want to stamp off on my nice glossy Stamparatus, okay? Isn't that funny, Peggy? I noticed it like 3 weeks ago or something. It's the craziest thing. So it's just kind of hiding in that book. All right, I cut some extra paper just in case I mess up. And let me get my ruler. Your Very Vanilla needs to measure 5 inches going across and 3 3/4 inches, okay? All right, so that's the measurement you need. I have the graph paper down, and so now I'm going to ink this up in Sahara Sand. My Sahara Sand hasn't been used much. It's very juicy. It's got a lot of ink on the pad, and that's why I want to stamp off. I don't want the background to be too dark, okay? So here I am. I'm going to ink this up upside down. It's just easier that way when we have a huge stamp. All right, and I see something, and you probably can't see that, but there is a piece of lint or something right on the stamp. So I'm going to take that off. All right, got it. All right, so let me do that one more time. It was just going to mess up my image. All right, so here, this technique is called Stampin' Off. Now I want to remind you that I'm working on a foldable table. So this table has give, It's not like my countertop, so we'll see what happens. And there we are in full strength. So let me just press on this side. All right, so that will work. Now the next thing I'm going to do is, and this may get a little inky, although you know, I could take it off. Nah, I'll leave it. This side's gonna get a bit inky, okay, but we won't worry about that. All right, so I'm gonna move this on over till about here. Okay, I'm not gonna put the magnet on it because I think the magnet is going to be in the way of the stamp. And now I'm just going to fold back over. I'm standing up now so that I can get hopefully enough even pressure. And we'll see how this turns out. Hopefully it'll work. I'm gonna press a little bit more and I'll zoom in so you can kind of see what's going on. That's what I have. So I'm gonna press a little harder here. Actually, the middle will not matter so much because we're actually gonna be putting stuff in the center. So I think that's pretty good. Doesn't have to be completely even. All right. And so this is what we've got, okay? I'm going to close that now. You know, and if you want yours more even, then you could certainly re-ink your pad. Leslie, we are not making this card, and you'll see why in a minute, okay? I will explain that in a second. Okay, which is probably coming up next. We're going to add some of these embellishments, and I'm going to show you where they are. They're part of the Blackberry Beauty Suite, and I don't even know if that's the name of it. I may be making that up. No, I got it right. All right, so if you're in your holiday catalog tonight, page 44 and page 45, you're going to find the Blackberry Beauty Suite, and there is a package right here. It's called the Blackberry Beauty Ephemera pack. Y'all know I have a really hard time with that word. Ephemera pack, okay? And it's $6 and you get 40 pre-cut pieces, okay? And it does include gold foil. So let me show you those because that's what's going on the card next. It's item number 156469. And you get 2 of these sheets. Okay, and that's why we're not able to use these pieces in class. I think I'd have to buy like, I don't know, 40 sheets or something. So you get 2 of these, all right? And while I'm here, we're going to use this one tonight. So I'm just gonna go ahead and see if I can't pull this out without tearing it. You do need to be careful. All right, so we're gonna use that piece tonight, okay? That piece right there. And then we're going to use this piece. So, and again, I'm being really careful because when I did this earlier, I actually tore one of them. Almost have it. So this is the other piece that we're going to use on the card, okay? So you get 2 of this sheet, which this is really pretty. You get these beautiful tags too. Then you get 2 of these, okay? And we're gonna be using this piece. And let me look at my card. We're gonna use this piece. Okay, so 2 of this. And then we have this sheet, which has 2 of these and 2 of this one and 2 of this one. All right. So it's kind of hard to use for a class because there aren't many in the pack, but for someone who's going to make a couple of cards with them, it's perfect. So that works. All right. Now I've already taken the time to cut out the pumpkin and the leaf, this pumpkin and the leaf, because I showed you how to do that earlier tonight. So if you are just joining us, go back when I'm done, hit replay, and you'll get some tips and tricks on cutting these out, okay? So basically, we're just going to assemble our card. And for this one, I'm just gonna add, let me get this going. Just adding adhesive. And then we're gonna add the oak leaves. I'm going to put those about right here, and that should, let's see, is that where I want it? Let me see. Maybe I want it that, I think I want it that way. I'll just do it like my other card. And I'll go ahead and zoom in so you can get a closer look at these, okay? So that's the first thing we're going to add. This is kind of like putting a puzzle together. Then we're going to add this piece. And so I am going to, you know what, you can use glue dots. I'm going to use some Tombow glue, just a tiny bit, not a lot. Pick that up. Move this so you can see it. And I'll probably position this at about right here. Okay. And then I'm going to take this gold one, and I'll show you how to do the glue dots on these if you'd rather do glue dots. Hang tight. This card is so easy to put together with these elements. Did anyone notice the elements in the book? I'll put one there. The pumpkins are going to kind of help everything stay down. So you don't really need a whole lot of adhesive. Let's put this one about here. Okay. And now we're going to add our pumpkin about right here, okay? Now I am going to take a little bit of glue for this. Again, you could use adhesive sheets. I'm just gonna add just a tiny bit of Tombow glue in various little places, not a lot. Okay, and now I'm going to pick this up. Gail says, no, I've never seen them and now I want them. I know, Gail, it's hard not to want the entire catalog. Now with your Tombow, you want to hold it down just a few minutes, okay? That will help it stay in place. All right, and we're going to add one of our leaves, and oh, you know what? This does have adhesive on it. Okay, remember we did that earlier tonight, so you know how to apply adhesive. Then we're going to add this here, and that's going to help hold the pumpkin down. Okay, and now we're going to add this, and I think I'll do this with glue dots. All right. Yeah, this is you know what's nice about this particular pack of embellishments? There aren't oodles of them, so they're easier to store, and you'll use all of them instead of having just like a few left, right? I'm going to add another glue dot. And then I'm actually going to tuck this in. I'm going to put it about right there. Okay. And now we're ready to add our pumpkin. And you know we're going to do that with some glue dots. Aren't y'all proud of me? We did not pop up one thing on the box. Not one thing. Aren't you proud of me? I'm usually, you know, popping everything up. All right. And sorry, we're running a little late tonight, and that's because I came on about 15 minutes later this evening. And I don't think it was an internet issue. It had something to do with the app that I use. That's more than enough glue dots. I'm going to add our pumpkin about right here. You can add it anywhere. We're going to add the leaf. It already has the adhesive on the back. Hang on, see if I can pick that up. I know you're proud of me. Now we're gonna add, let's see. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and, I tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna stamp because I re-inked my Blackberry Bliss today and it needs a few minutes to dry so that we don't smear the ink. All right. Now the verses in the pumpkin stamp set, we've got, if friends were pumpkins, I'd pick you. So thankful for you, gather together. All right, and I chose this one for tonight, and someone is going to win this. And we're gonna have a drawing very shortly. All right. I'm just gonna stamp this in the middle. Right there. And I'm gonna let it dry so that it doesn't smear. Now, I just noticed that this letter right here is not stamped that well, so I'm gonna take the Blackberry Bliss marker. I'm going to use my Stampin' Right marker, and I am going to fix it. All right, done. And that's our Stampin' Right marker. They're great for coloring on rubber stamps and for things like this. For lots, you could, you know, use your Stampin' Right markers in your calendar. I'm gonna let this, I'm gonna set it aside because it really does need to dry, okay? All right, so everything else, I think we're ready to put on the card. And guess what? The dimensionals are out. They are finally coming out because I'm gonna pop up this panel on the card. All right. You knew I couldn't go all month without, or all night without popping this up. Yes, hold your breath during the drawing so you can win. Thank you, Jean. It's super simple. All right. We need a card base. And this is a standard card base, ladies. Let me zoom out here. It is 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored along the 8.5-inch side right here at 4.25. Hello, Kathy. Welcome. All right, so let me take this. All right. Now I'm ready to pop this up. We're going to center it. Make sure that I'm actually putting it on correctly. Okay. And now we're going to add some ribbon. I can zoom back in now. I'm so glad you ladies like this card. I think it's prettier actually than what the original picture showed. But this was a Stampin' Up! Card, and I think it was designed by a concept artist. So all I did here was just tie another bow, just like I did for the box. And we're gonna put a glue dot here. Oh, thank you, Nancy. I know it makes you want to make fall cards, doesn't it? Like, I need a pumpkin spice latte. It is National Coffee Day, girls. Yep. You know I'm all over that. Love my coffee. All right, what do you think of that? We got a bow now. I think it looks pretty good with the bows. Oh, I'm so glad, Diana. Thank you. You know, it means so much to me, ladies, with your compliments. It means a great deal. It really does. Because, you know, when I'm creating this stuff, I never know if you're going to like it or not. So, all right, I'm almost there. I'm just over here tying a bow. I know I've got the camera up close. We're going to add a glue dot. Put that there, and we're going to add it to the pumpkin, and that will also help hold the pumpkin down. I'll give you a closer look now. Hi, Yvette. Welcome. Hello, hello. All right. Now, it's about time to cut this out. Okay, so I'm really hoping it's dry enough. All right, y'all are going to die because guess what? There's no dye, okay? There is no dye. I used my scissors. Oh, thanks, Cindy. Thank you. All right, all I'm going to do is I'm going to fussy cut. And I'm going to fussy cut all the way around the words. I know I'm being really, this is really crazy. We always use our dies or our punches. And tonight I'm going rogue, just doing it. All right. Let's see if we like that. What do you think? All right, we're going to pop it up. Because I've hardly used any dimensionals tonight. I'm going to use some little minis on this one. Okay. Oh, thank you, Pam. Thank you, thank you. All right, and then this I'm going to pop up. Now, I don't want to cover up all my leaves, so I'm going to put it about right there.